Awesome. Thanks for joining Jeff and Candace. I like to I say it all the time without jumping into these classes. I don't think I'd still be in business. I jumped in full force. So I might make you guys talk a little bit and be a little bit involved, but it's all good. So if you guys could just tell me a little bit about yourself, your name, how long you've been in it, and really what you've all been doing to this time, up to this point to be where you're at. Jeff?
Yeah, so I've only been doing it about 3 months. My first day as a licensed agent was first day of Bold. So it's kind of funny how it wound up that way. But yeah, so just really been trying to get some systems in place and start to get some consistency with what I'm doing. That's really kind of where I'm at.
Awesome. So, how did you like Bold?
I liked parts of it, and I thought other parts could be changed. I think for me, there could have been a little more like functional lessons in there, like not necessarily like, hey, like go do lead gen. Like, all right, here's a tactic we're gonna teach you, and we're gonna teach you how to use it. So something like think more like tactile, like being able to take more systems out of it, I think would be helpful.
Awesome. So, have you been using anything that you've learned in there?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, some of the, yeah, yeah, I would say some of it.
Awesome. That was the first time I've done it. I got so much out of it. Not even gonna over exaggerate. I've probably gotten like 3 deals out of it just by following everything he said. Even if I didn't like it, I'm not a video person, selfie person, just not me. Um, I'm not kidding you. My Facebook is blown up. I have more hits, and it's been rolling since. And I know about 3 very successful agents that solely do about 50 deals a year. They're in our brokerage too, solely off of Facebook. Just by doing their videos, doing them, and getting leads. So I try to use that. Candace, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thanks.
I turned my camera on, but I just woke up. So,
You, you're you showed up. That's all that's important.
also with that being said, I do have to work this morning, so I'm not going to be able to stay for the whole session, but I did the full session on Wednesday and I'll be back for Monday. So I'm probably going to miss um I have to be to work for 10:30. So I'm
That's
not going to be able
okay.
to stay for everything, but I wanted to drop in and get what I could this
Awesome.
morning.
Cool.
Um
So these are recorded. You can go back and watch them. We can make sure
oh
that
really? Okay.
yep.
Okay.
So
Good. That's great. That's
we'll
great.
make sure you can get back in. And then last time I'm pretty sure I finished up a little early, but yeah, let's just see how it goes and we'll go from there.
Yeah, awesome. Awesome. Cool. Happy to be here. Yeah,
Thank
I'm
you.
just I'm just getting my feet wet here. I got my I've been working full time this summer, so I've been really just burning the candle at both ends trying to pick up my business and take it somewhere. While I was working 5 days a week this summer, I promised my boss I would give her till Labor Day, and then I was stepping back. So I have officially stepped back. I'm on a very limited schedule now, and now I'm really going to be um, trying to do some things. I went to orientation in July. Um, I got my license in, was it in June? No, was it June or July? I don't remember. This whole summer has been kind of a blur, but I've been in office. I've been doing a bunch of classes. I was just trying to get social media up and running. I just got cleared from compliance for um, my business Facebook page. I have my business cards got cleared. I got those through the Michael Lewis Marketing Suite. They're amazing. I've been passing them out. I bartend and serve. So I've been passing out a ton of my business cards. While I haven't been doing as much as I'd like to, I've been networking down there. I have my main license now, and I'm also trying to get my New Hampshire license by the end of this year, so I can do some uptime in your wonderful Portsmouth office. And yeah, I literally just got started. KT's got me plugging some things into Command. He's got me putting contacts in there and trying to start some smart plans. Um, yeah, I'm really just beginning to get my feet wet. I haven't done a deal or anything like that. I'm trying to hook up with, find a good mentor right now so I can spend this winter. I'd like to, yeah, I just want to have some time, and I haven't had any time, but I
Um,
have time now. So I'm really looking forward to learning
that's
and absorbing
awesome.
and being a sponge from all of you guys. So
I would reach out to Carrie Kellerman and have a
yeah,
conversation.
that's what Tim said. That's what
Yep.
Tim said. I'm
Awesome.
gonna do that.
She's amazing. I've known her for years.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Cool. Thanks, Candace. Patrick, I know you just jumped on. We're just introducing ourselves, how long you've been in the business, and then yeah, we'll go from there and start the class. And then this way we can make sure you all get what you need out of it.
Are you teaching from directly from this Ignite workbook that we're able to download? Is that what like
Yep.
the
So
class is based on?
it is, I tend to go off a little bit, obviously, with experience. So I use this as a base. This is Gary Keller. He's obviously brilliant.
Oh
So
yeah.
this is his base. I do go off a little bit just off of my experience, being licensed in Maine, New Hampshire, our market, stuff like that. But this is the core of really what it is. What you're gonna love about this class is it's really gonna help you get outside of yourself and really just embrace your job. Just like it says. I don't like to call it a job. For me, it's a lifestyle. It's all day, every day. And it doesn't mean you're working all day, every day. But perfect example, I just got back Tuesday night from vacation in Washington State. I was in the middle of the desert with a bunch of Dave Matthews fans. With that said, work never stops. I met a New York City agent I hooked up with, got his number, already talked to him in regards to referrals. I hooked up with two
Cool.
Florida lenders. It doesn't stop. It doesn't matter where you
Yeah.
are. The conversation always comes up. What do you do for work? And just kind of use that. We help people. It's really that simple. Our job has a lot of steps, but we really are just helping people get to their goals. If that's just helping them find a lender, if that's just answering questions to help them get there in a year and a half or whatever that might be, we want to be that source. So once they build that trust, we want to continue to be with them. So when they're ready, we are the chosen agent. We can help them through the
Yes.
transaction.
That's what I've been trying to do with every interaction I've had.
Awesome. Yeah, it's always and do these classes, jump in, you're gonna get something from every class. You're gonna run your business a little different than the next. However, the core base is always the same. The one thing I had to learn is I think I'm special. And with that said, I spent a ton of money, a ton of time before I was even licensed on logo, business name, LLC, all this stuff. Do I regret it? Not at all. I am using it, but it was not needed. All I had to do was go talk to people. That stuff wasn't going to get me the business I needed. It just made me look good in the background. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm glad I have it all now and I'm still using it. But what I've learned is talking to people is how I'm going to get my business, and that's just great to look professional and have. But with that said, be starting out here. We just want to talk to as many people as possible. So this course overview, I gotta hide you guys real quick. I'm sorry. All right.
Where will I be able to find the recording when I want to come back and catch the other hour?
I'll get you that. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be in the hub, but I'll reach out. I'll make sure that I get you that correct information after. It's been
We
a little
posted on
bit.
our YouTube. I'll put the link in the chat.
Oh,
Oh,
amazing.
thank you. Thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much.
Thank you. Oh, we're YouTube famous.
Yay.
Cool. So this is Embrace Your Job. Get the if do all of you have the Ignite workbook?
I downloaded, yes.
Okay, awesome. Cool. So today's agenda, recognizing your role as a fiduciary for a client, applying the six core competencies of a business, Review the success system. I am highly, highly in love with the success system. Recap and ahas, and then the daily success system. I use both. Absolutely phenomenal. So we'll go down here, the six cores of competencies of business. Kind of like I was saying, lead gen, capture, convert to appointments, present to buyers and sellers and get agreement. Show buyers and market sellers, showing buyers homes, marketing for your sellers. Write and negotiate contracts, coordinate the sale to closing, and manage the money. Super important. First one here, lead generate, capture, convert to appointments. Like I was saying earlier, when I'm out there, the one thing that helped me, I was in one of Tim's classes and I was a little scared. I know it's crazy, someone as out as me being scared, but the fears totally take over. So I'm in classes for my first 3 weeks and I was scared to post on Facebook. Never posted on Facebook. Never, I have no idea what that fear was. So I hooked up with an accountability partner and Tim, and basically I was forced to just, no matter where I was, if I saw someone, to let them know. So I used that. Every time I was in the grocery store and you almost want to run from people you know, I just started going up to everybody, telling them I was an agent. I was, I think, with Keller Williams for like 3 weeks at this point, still scared to do a Facebook page, but they tested me with talking to people because that's my strong suit. I did get my first lead from doing that. Scared, scared to heck, but I did get my first lead doing that. It was a listing and signed them within 5 weeks of being licensed with Keller Williams. So lead gen really can be numerous things. We're going to go through some of that in this course. The main thing to keep in mind is when you're lead genning, you always want to convert the appointment if it's necessary. So sometimes you're just answering questions, you're that source for information. And then other times you can tell they're really serious. They're really thinking about it. They're asking questions. You want to set an appointment for that and kind of go through it. You want to go through, you want to be that source of information. So I constantly use, for me, I want to help you get there. Real estate is not an overnight thing. I want to give you the information, help you. If that's kind of guide you with finances, get you in touch with the lender to build a plan. And if it's a few years from now, you using that and actually caring is there's no way they can possibly say, I don't need an appointment. Or maybe it could be, let's meet up in 2 months. Now you set that in your command, you're going to call them and you're going to get that going. You need to show them that you care and you definitely want to be that source of information. Does anybody have anything on that? Okay. All right. Present to buyers and sellers and get agreement. Obviously your main hmm, the one thing I want to say about this is always remain genuine. This just gets straight to the point, of course, but always remain genuine and while you're getting that agreement. The way that our rules and laws do state, there's only so much we can do for customers. Before they turn into clients. So with that said, kind of use that while being genuine and you get towards that agreement. I don't like to go in forcing the agreement, but I'm always going in with the attention that I want to leave with a signed agreement. That's just the best way you can help them. If that's I mean, obviously, a seller, you can do a CMA for your appointment, but to be able to watch the market, fully work for them as well as buyers, show them property, set up appointments, we do need to have an agreement in place in both New Hampshire and Maine. Actually, the nationwide now, as of August 17th, 24. Any questions on that? Concerns?
I actually do have a question.
Awesome.
Um, so if I was to, so if I have somebody that comes to me, maybe we'll say a potential buyer, say I give someone my card and they say, hey, I would be interested in seeing, whatever it is. And can I send them something without the agreement?
Could you ask that again so I can make sure I answer it correctly?
If somebody's interested in something, and if I go in the MLS and find something that I think they might like, can I show them listings without an agreement in place?
That's a great question. Um, Not necessarily. So in order to be searching for properties consistently, we do need to have an agreement in place. So actually,
What if it's like a one-off thing? What if it's like they just say, oh, here's this one thing that maybe, we could do more. And at that point, I would probably go into an agreement if they wanted to see like more things and have me look more.
well, I would use that as your platform to get an agreement.
Okay.
Yep, it's all about
Okay.
trust. If you can't talk about how you're supposed to work, we need to show them trust. And part of that trust is being able to talk about our compensation, talk about our programs, talk about why it's important that they sign with you. All that's important. A customer can only get so much information, especially, I mean, use the market, use anything. You right now with limited inventory, you don't want other agents knowing. If you find a home that you want to put in an offer on, other agents knowing that you've been shopping around, knowing your information, that could actually deter your options at winning an offer if there's multiple offers. So these rules are put into place for reasons, and it is for protection for our buyers and our sellers. So I would use any of that to get your agreement signed. If they absolutely don't want to sign an agreement, there is so much we can talk about what you're seeing on MLS and all of that, but we can't go into depth. We can't show them properties. They can go into open houses, but we can't act as an agent until we are signed with them and they are clients, not customers.
Yeah, that's what I figured. And it's that first thing in Maine is the brokerage relationships form. You
Yep,
give them that
and
first.
yep, and that's New Hampshire as well. And that right there, if you explain that properly, I don't know a person in the world who wouldn't want to sign.
Heard. Okay.
Unless they're just not ready right now, but then we give them the information, and we get them ready. Keep in touch with them. That's the most important thing.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you for asking questions. Show buyers, market sellers. Does somebody want to tell me what that means to them? All right. So show buyers, market sellers. Obviously, buyers, our main objective is to learn exactly what they're looking for, shop the market in their designated areas. That is how our agreements do read. So if say you write down, I know you've probably heard Timmy say this and you're forever going to hear it, but it's totally true. Say you write down they're unsure about their area, and on your agreement, you write down 5 different counties. Our duty is to be searching all 5 of those counties at all times for a property that they want. So it's really important to kind of hone down, figure out what they want. I do have clients that that do have a wide range, and we will do that. But definitely ask right questions and figure it out so you actually can do the research and find exactly what they're looking for. And as far as sellers, constantly market. I have a 1.2 that's been on for about 5 weeks now. It's in the middle of Maine. That market is a lot slower than ours. Um, I'm not really stressing it, but you have to. I promised them I was going to do continuously marketing, and I have done so. I have thousands of dollars into marketing. Super proud of the marketing, and that's just a duty. And it was the main thing that was very important to the seller. And they've gotten the absolute best marketing they can get from an agent. So is there any questions in regards to that, concerns?
How much money did you spend on the marketing? For
Um,
that one place, just for this one place you're talking about?
just for the one place. Right now, I'm about 7,000 in, but that's including my photo, video, and I promised them I can't really talk about that. That's part of the contract, but I did promise them a lot, and I'll only go up to that a lot, but everything's negotiable. So I use that
Yeah.
obviously negotiating compensation because I have to come out of this money out of pocket pre. So it's all part of negotiation. Again, the stronger that they trust you and they know that you're going to work hard for them, usually that's not a problem. Um, this was a listing appointment I got while I was in Bold. So that 100%, I utilized Bold. I think it was week 3. No, week 2. I utilized basically was right after week 2, signed it, went up there, absolutely crushed it. Probably the hardest listing appointment I had when it came to talking about compensation and what I was going to do. He is a business owner, beat me up. It worked out exactly how it should have. He trusted me, believed in me, and exactly what he said he wouldn't be signing on, he did sign on because he sees the value and he saw why I need that compensation because I have to put that money up ahead of time, and he was demanding a hefty package. So it just all goes asking those right questions, figuring out what's important to them. I'm a firm believer of that. Every buyer, every seller is going to have different needs and wants. We're all different humans. But the main thing of what we do is kind of the same. We just have to, we're caring to the fullest and listening to our clients and getting them to the finish line with the best protection that we can.
Cool. Yeah, I was just trying to get an idea of expenses and stuff like that because I just haven't seen any of that yet.
Yep, I wouldn't focus on that. Just kind of focus on and getting your leads. Everything will work out from there. I kind of spent some time worried about that, and it's just kind of energy that you want to focus on obtaining leads. It's all gonna work out. Buyers don't buyers you're not really spending too much money on your gas, your travel, your time. Sellers, and again, this is a $1.25 million home. So I'm not doing this for all listings. It's just going to depend on the listing and you negotiate from there. Not all sellers are that particular about the marketing. The marketing's the most expensive. But I would not let that hold you up at all. The more leads you get, the more business you're going to get. You're going to be able to afford to grow your business. I kind of held back on that too, but I just had faith that everyone knew what they were talking about, and they definitely did. Just keep chasing leads, and you're never going to have to worry about business. As soon as you stop, that's when you're going to fall into the roller coaster and you will have to worry about business. I apologize. Okay. Sorry. Boom. There we go. Write and negotiate contracts. Ooh, okay. I'm bringing this up because this one, I don't want to give you bad information. I'm sorry, I keep pausing this. Is that better? Okay. There we go. Did I lose you guys?
No, we hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry. All right. The fourth competency is writing and negotiating contracts. This is a big responsibility and one that many new agents are concerned about, anxious about, and completing their first contract accurately. Negotiating is another competency that requires practice, calm, and win-win mindset. Remember, win-win is one of KW's beliefs, win-win or no deal. So, there's a lot in this one. Negotiating. Honestly, I'm obsessed with it. It's my favorite thing that we do, because that's really where you get to show and fight for your client. Um, Fight's probably the bad word. We're not fighting. We're working with another agent, but that's really where you get to impress your client. With that said, negotiations are our contracts are bilateral, so they do negotiate off of each other. Sometimes it can be very pressuring, but when it comes to writing your first contract, in our DocuSign, it's they do a pretty good job at walking you through that. The one thing I am gonna suggest, every Wednesday we do contracts class. You'll hear this every day, probably of your career with Keller Williams. Go. I was at them Wednesday. So I'm licensed in Maine and New Hampshire, so from 10 to noon on Wednesdays, I'm on the contracts class. Why do we want to continuously be on that, even though I am almost 3 years licensed? Our rules and laws change constantly. Every time something happens with one transaction that our brokers work on, they we learn something new about that rule and that law. It is forever changing. I'm sure you've heard a tons. I've already mentioned it once in this call. August 17th of 2024, all of our rules nationwide changed due to a multi-billion-dollar lawsuit, and we just kind of had to take that and run. Everyone was really scared. Everyone was nervous. No one really knew what to do. The one best thing about Keller Williams is we were trained better than any other broker. 100% I'm confident saying that. We were trained, they did classes like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then every contracts class on Wednesday was for like a month until everyone really understood the changes. I'm still seeing out there from other agents not fully understanding the full rule change, and we're over a year now. So I am a firm believer the best way to get comfortable around writing contracts is to stay learning based at all times. No matter how comfortable you are with your career, there's always going to be something you're going to learn from a contracts class in a state that you're licensed in. Um, Still, I'm every time I have to call a broker, it is literally about, and it's something that I would have been able to answer on the last transaction, but every transaction's different, and sometimes you'll have a question on how to put this on the contract. That's a way you've never seen before. This is why we have the best brokers, and this is why we have a few of them, with as many agents as we have.
Can I chime in real quick on that too? Like something that I haven't even been here that long, but it's been really helpful. Like those contract classes, like, just being around this area for so long, I know a lot of other brokers, and like the amount of people who are so confused and scared of like adding in the buyer commission is insane because like they don't know how to explain it. And I literally have just told them what I've been told. I'm like, yeah, it's just you tell them this is what you're going to work for. You're going to do your best to make sure that the seller pays for it, but you may be on the hook for a little bit at the end of the transaction. And it's like, it's that simple.
Well, you want to be careful how you say that because
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
there
yeah,
are
not exactly like that,
transactions
but
that do not offer commission at all.
right.
Compensation, sorry. Yeah, so we do want to be careful. What I just say is I'm like the industry standard. It's a
Yeah.
good way to say it. Doesn't mean the industry standard's going to be always, but you never want to promise them that anything's going to be paid. Another good thing to say with that is my duty is to call that agent before we set up a showing. So you will never have an appointment to see a home without knowing the compensation that they are offering. That's the best way to nick that. And then this way, when they find a home, they know right away, and it's up to them to make their decision. We're not pushing any yes or no on them. But that's a really good fact. Um, I'll say a million times I'm a lifer. We're spoiled with what we get at Keller Williams. 100%. I am having trouble with this today, huh? Boom. All right, coordinate the sale to closing. The fifth competency is about getting the deal all the way to closing, where the buyer gets the new keys to their home, or the seller releases the home to the buyers and you get paid. Keep in mind that not all deals make it to the close for a variety of reasons. It takes skill, and this is why it's one of your core competencies. Um, 100%. I'm still learning. Every single deal I've done has been different, and not one of them has had any of the same um, I hate to call them problems, but problems. Every transaction has their own thing. Every person is different. Every lending program might work kind of the same, but everybody's financial behind that is different. So one thing I've learned is it's really hard to get bored in this industry. You're going to learn something new every single day. I have three closing this month, and one of them has just been nonstop every day. I've learned something new. It's almost like I don't know what I'm doing, and I very much so do. But I'm learning new stuff every day from this one, and it's humbling, but at the same time, I'm grateful every time I get a transaction that's going to help me with the next one that could have a similar hiccup. Does anyone have anything on this? I know we go over this almost every class. All
I'm just
right.
going to add something here because Cornelius is actually slaying it.
Hey.
It's one of those things where the core competencies of managing the transaction is becoming more and more of an issue due to the fact of the slide before. Cornelius was talking about the NAR settlement. Agents not, and I put newbie agent here, not to freak Cornelius out that I was listening to him. For all of you that don't know who this is Jason Westcott, your managing broker. It's one of those things that, managing the deal, we need to understand one thing, and it's the one thing we're teaching seasoned agents and new agents. You have a client until there's a contract, and then you have to represent the contract. And the issue with that always is we, as Cornelia said, want to fight for our client, which is the right thing to do, unless your client is wrong or illegal. And we have to be very careful of that. We're seeing like a leaseback stuff. We're seeing like private properties, and that's where things go wrong. And that's where the agents tend to lean on the brokers, because your client may want you to do something, yet it may not be in the scope of what you can do and or what the contract can do. Like asking you to get somebody out of a contract, asking somebody to, I'm going to get a denial letter, or I just got a denial letter, tell the other agent it happened. We have to have copies of that paperwork. So it's not all about getting a closing to the table to get paid. And it is. In one aspect, it's how we get paid, but our fiduciary responsibility is to that contract and our client. And as this market cools off a little bit, which is what it's doing, I don't want anybody in this room to think it's crashed. This market was absolutely insane the last couple of years. It's actually still insane. And, average days on markets, 90 to 120 days is considered a great market for all agents. And if it gets there, you'll know what I mean, because agents are like, absolutely not, Jay. I'm like, okay, wait. When buyers can buy and sellers can sell, you're going to sell more property. That's just how it is. But anyway, understanding the actual contract and getting it to close and seeing problems before they happen. That's going to come with experience. Cornelius, he's going to tell you that he's been an agent for 3 years and he sold $1 bazillion worth of real estate, which he has. The good news about him is he's got a background in real estate because he was a lender. So he knows lender problems before they happen. Like he knows the lender problems before the lender does, because he says the lender, how long you been a lender? And they said a year. And he's like, that's cute. You know what I mean? Because he's been a lender for much longer. So he's like, that's not going to be right. I'm telling you right now, they got to do X, Y, and Z. So, if you guys ever need help with that stuff, again, lean on the brokers, lean on your team lead. I know Jeff Gray is on a team, lean on Luana is a phenomenal agent. She's been around forever. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things that lean on this and try to get ahead of it. Because when you get ahead of it and you don't bring a problem to your buyer or seller, that's where you'll get the referrals. That's where you're going to be the win-win. That's where you're going to come out as the rock star agent. When you're constantly in a fight, you're not a rock star agent. You're a headache. And that's what the client's going to say. Yeah, we got there. and everything Jay did was a pain in the ass. You know what I mean? So feeding fires is not always the greatest thing. So Cornelius, I just want to say what you've said so far through your first 11 slides. I'm very proud of you, young man.
Thanks, bud.
All right,
I
get
don't-
after it.
Learn from the best. Managing the money. The sixth and final competency is about managing your money. You already learned from day one that the paycheck you get upon closing is not to be put in your pocket and spent. There will be expenses to pay and the ever-present taxes that must be saved and paid every quarterly. There is a great KW course for you to take called Profitability. Agent Financials most likely will be offered at the regional international level. I have a coach that I pay for, Maps Coach, and we are constantly going over the money portion. Super important. I know Candace had a question about that earlier. It is very important. I learned right away that obviously you want 30 to 33% put right away for taxes, 30% into your business account, and then the other can go into your personal. The one thing I will say is building your business account is probably the best thing I've ever done because it's allowed me to grow at my own pace. Whenever I felt the time to add something, I did. So I know Candace just mentioned she wants to add New Hampshire license. I just got approved 2 weeks ago for my commercial. It's about 3 years. I wanted to add something else. Now I feel like I'm good and I'm pretty solid for a while. But again, being smart with managing your money is definitely going to give you the upper hand at slaying this business however you can. I like to have what I call the listing savings. I never want to say no to a listing, depending on what that might cost me to market and sell to the best of my ability. So I have an account solely for listings. I put away money and whatever I need for listings, that's where it comes from, and it doesn't get touched unless it is for a listing. I never want to be able to say no to a listing because you sell a home great, you're definitely going to get referrals. Does anyone have any questions on this? I know Candace did earlier, we answered. All right, mindset matters. There's another essential component to this job. It's mindset. Your mindset each and every day. We talked about mindset on day one. You've got the KW belief system along with the 6 personal perspectives to keep you strong. Who can remember any of the 6 personal perspectives? We're going to wake you guys up. I'm just kidding. All right. Where are we? All right. I can't see any of you, but that's okay.
I'm sorry, I'm back. I'm here. I was getting ready for work. I was brushing my teeth and I didn't want to put you on the microphone. I'm so sorry.
You're good. What does mindset mean to you? Give us a little bit.
I don't know if I have a lot to give. I'm
No?
still my brain is all over the place right now. Oh, I'm sorry. I
You're-
have to get ready and start getting ready to go to work. So I'm kind of bopping. I was away from the screen for a minute. So I was
You're
listening
good.
to Jason and listening to you. I actually had a quick question about the commercial thing.
Yep.
Did you get what do you have to do to get, is it a separate license?
You have to
Or
get
is it
approved. You have to get approved through. So it's more of an application and approval and yeah, so you have to get approved and then I just got my approval. Now I have to do the course and I'll be rolling, but I just got access to my documents.
okay, cool. I was just
Um
wondering if it was like a course or something like that, because somebody asked me if I do commercial and I was like, I don't, but I didn't know if you needed a separate license or how that even worked at all, because I just didn't know.
Yeah,
So
I
thank you.
definitely suggest if you're not super familiar with commercial, before I was in lending, I was in commercial financing. Commercial is a little bit of a different game. Nate Dickey does like us to go through the course, get our approval. So I've yet to do any commercial. I like to follow Nate's rules. So I've yet to do one. I have an appointment Monday for my first one. So all week this week I've been going through the documents and everything that so I can do this properly. Kind of like you guys would be doing now with your contracts. So, but that I would almost right now, if you my suggestion would be, and obviously I'm not, this is just a suggestion. If you've already mentioned New Hampshire, where New Hampshire is an easier test than Maine, slightly, I would suggest going sooner for your New Hampshire than thinking about commercial right now. The best thing
That's
about our business is we don't specialize in absolutely everything, and we can get paid by simply referring someone to someone who specializes in that. So if you had someone in commercial, I wouldn't even say send them to me right now because I'm still learning. We have tons of people who solely and specialize in commercial in our brokerage. I would reach out to one of them, have a conversation, and collect a referral fee for that. And your clients or your customers at that point would be forever grateful for you just even being that honest. I want you to have the best help right now. I'm going to refer you to one of our top commercial agents. I'm going to learn off this. I really appreciate it. That's going to
okay.
last far better than trying to do something that we couldn't do to our best of our ability.
Okay.
I just want to
Thank
add
you.
too that next week on Wednesday from 12 to 1, Ethan Ash is hosting a class about commercial. It's Discover the Foundations of Commercial Real Estate.
Oh,
So if you want just an introduction, that would be great to attend. It is in person only
Yes,
at the Portsmouth office.
I can come
and
to that. I live in Kittery.
and
Perfect.
he is one of the ones I would be referring to. So I just didn't
Beautiful.
want to throw
Okay.
anyone under the bus, but it would definitely
Oh,
be
cool. Thank
Ethan.
you. No, that's great. That's great.
Yep. He's one of our top guys. I would highly suggest if you're interested, trying to make that class for sure.
Oh, I will. Yeah, I definitely will. I'm taking Monday, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays off now. So I have 4 whole days.
Amazing. To achieve your highest potential, these 6 core competencies must be done consistently and done well. Um, Gary Keller is amazing. The one thing I'm gonna it definitely goes with this. My first family reunion, watching Gary speak, we're probably like 45 minutes to his speak, and he just said one thing, and I'll never forget it. Like it hit me in the head like a baseball going 80 miles per hour. Um, Gary, it was so simple too. He's like, we are a contact sport. We're a contact sport. If we're not out talking to people, we can't even use these 6 core competencies. So that forever changed my life after my first one. Forever talk to people, even if it's not about real estate. It's always gonna turn into real estate. I never wanted to believe Timmy when he said this constantly, but it's so true. I mean, what we do is we work, we have family, and we try to get in a little bit of fun in the meantime. But we constantly need to just talk, care, and the rest will totally come into place. I wanted to fight that. I wanted to think that it was beautiful logos and all these crazy things, but really, the more people talk to you and the more they trust you, and they're gonna think about you when they need. So this, I am gonna start this. I definitely want to ask. I know you all are licensed. I know you've learned some of this. I want to start with seeing your thoughts on functionary versus fiduciary. Who's with me? Jeff.
Yes,
I know you got this. You work with Luana, right?
sure.
Yeah. Well,
I
she's
do.
amazing. Let's
Yep.
go.
That's why I'm here. To be
What do
honest,
you think?
I would have followed her to the sun. Functionary versus fiduciary, I think kind of, for me, I look at this and it kind of goes back to customer versus client, right? Like you kind of look at it like fiduciary, you have a lot more responsibilities, and a lot more expectation, I think, which is functionary, you're just kind of, you're serving a function. You're just kind of, providing a basic thing. So you're doing a function for someone. Like, it's just like, oh, can you look at this one thing for me? Sure, I'll take a quick look at it for you. You're not digging in and saying, well, that might not be a good fit. Here's why. Here's some other options. I don't know. I guess that's where my head would be with that.
That's awesome. A big thing that comes to me is trust. Obviously, fiduciary trust.
Yep.
You totally hit it. Functionary is the duties that we have to attain. Fiduciary is the trust, and the responsibility. I love fiduciary. That's kind of where we're always saying customer to client. It's almost like customer to family. That's literally how I feel about it. I adore every person that trusts me to help them get to the finish line. And it really does take a lot of trust. And I absolutely adore fiduciary. When I was scared learning it in real estate class, but now that we know what it means, we're flying through this. Does anybody have any questions? No. All right. Beat the fiduciary. Divide attend. Oh God, we can't do this. Okay. Just always be the person that everybody can trust. Even if it's not real estate, we can't switch that line between customer and client, but I'll always be that person people can trust. Some days I get too many calls of people wanting to just trust. But at the end of the day, it feels good that people can just call you for really anything, personal problems, real estate, non-real estate. You always want to be that source and just build that confidence in those relationships at all times. Nothing else about your business will have as big as impact on it as the number of leads you have. This could not be more true. Whew, so true. I still go through this with my coach all the time. You can never have too many leads. Never. Sometimes we get really busy and we call it the roller coaster of real estate. You have a lot of deals under and you kind of get wrapped up with all of that and you miss your lead gen for a little bit. Well, you will feel that in a few weeks. It's just like Timmy said on the beginning of this call. Everything we're doing this month should go in this year. Everything we're doing after October 1st is most likely going to be for next year. I wanted to fight that tooth and nails, and it couldn't be more true. The only way to not have a roller coaster of a real estate career is to constantly be lead genning and packing leads into your system 100%. I think it was Candace talking about KT helping her with smart plans and setting up command. Definitely something I suggest for all of you. I know Lawana, it's all about that. She's got you on her team for sure. But yeah, definitely a great conversation to have with somebody and definitely never too late to start that. I think I started mine a little too late. I wish if I jumped on that right away with you guys. All right, this is my favorite. Accountability. Accountable people achieve results others can only dream of. Gary Keller, The One Thing. Definitely read the book. It's absolutely phenomenal. I use it in probably every aspect of my life. I've actually learned that, I mean, my big listing right now, he was huge into The One Thing. I said one thing out of the book and he was just like, wow. And it was just a huge connection between the both of us. So yeah, this is amazing. So in the first section tonight, we introduced the 6 perspectives. Let's elaborate on the 6 personal perspectives. Be accountable. So this right here is my absolute favorite. I still have one. I started with one from Timmy, taking Timmy's classes, listened to Tim. Definitely had an accountability partner. That might shift and change a little bit over time, depending on where you and your accountability partner head and to your own businesses. But right now, I do have a coach, as well as I'm really close with Jason Westcott, I call constantly, and I have a couple others. Krista Lombardi is also an accountability partner, and vice versa for me with her. She has a phenomenal business. She absolutely crushes it. But you know, we're human. We're running businesses. There's a lot of steps in each direction, and one of the best things you absolutely could have is someone that cares about your business like their own, vice versa, and you both can help each other get to that next level. It 100% it works. 1,000%. So I do have a couple. I do suggest a coach, but I know like Jeff, if you're Luana's team, she'll have something in a play like that. I'm sure you guys work on that. It be forever grateful. It's something that you definitely want to achieve. And if that's it doesn't matter if it's someone new, someone in this class with you, if it's someone on your team. It's not really the fact that how long you've been in real estate business. It's the fact that you're gonna use each other to get to that next level. If it's a 2-minute phone call in the morning, just to help pep you up, really, just a conversation with someone who cares could give you the energy that morning that you didn't have to go out, crush it, and get a $800,000 listing. You just really never know. And this is probably one of the best things that Keller Williams heavily requests us to use 100%. And I will forever have one. Can someone tell me, does any of you already have an accountability partner, and any suggestions for anyone else who possibly doesn't?
I mean, I'm lucky I have Luana, like, and that's just kind of built into our team and how she runs our team. The one thing, Candace, I think it's the second class I've taken with you. I don't know if a team, like, I think a team could be helpful. I think it's team helpful for all new agents personally. That's my personal thought, but that might be helpful to try and find a team, or at least someone you can work with.
Awesome, Jeff. Thank you. Sorry about that. In order to see you guys, I have to stop sharing. All right. This recording is going to be fun. Awesome. So, that's a great point. It's going to work a little bit different for everyone, Jeff, but just having, and that's exactly why Carrie Kellerman's there too, for people who want to kind of try to do it on their own and get some help. I think it's amazing she stepped up and started doing that and helping. I'm not sharing, am I? Oh, I'm a mess, you guys. I'm sorry.
You're sharing, we can see.
Okay. All right. Jeff, do you guys use something like this?
As far as what? Oh,
You're
yeah, I'm looking, sorry.
you're good.
I would, nothing quite as specific, but I mean, we have a team meeting every Monday, and then we have follow-ups all week just to kind of make sure we're all headed in the right direction, kind of all swimming in the same ocean.
Um, I tried to fight these in the beginning, like bad. Obviously, coming from the lending world, I had different systems. What I had to learn is I don't know everything, and these systems really work. So with that said, I keep track of everything. I have my little remarkable carried around everywhere, and I try to keep track of everything. Obviously, sometimes I might miss a text or a conversation. But it really does work. My business coach kind of She goes over with you. So everybody has their own different pace of work, different pace of comfort. Everyone's gonna bring in clients a little different, right? Well, tracking all these is gonna give you your numbers. So basically, what we've broken down to is if I get myself in front of 100 people, if that's text, phone calls, if I get myself in front of 100 people, I myself will likely get to the closing table of 3 to 6 people, which is a little bit higher than some. It just all depends. I've had the experience in lending, finding clients pretty much the same way. So it did give me a little bit of an upper hand when I switched over to my own LLC. But with that said, tracking these numbers, it might seem tedious at first, but this is what's going to give you your accurate numbers based off of your work, your comfortability, and how you do it. Once you have those numbers down, really, you just keep running, chasing those numbers. Now I know every 100 people I'm in, I can get at least 3. So if I have 300 people, that could be 9. So you can kind of gauge what you possibly could do next year with what you have in your lead box now. So I'm a firm believer of these. My coach and I goes through every week. I meet her every Thursday. We go through my numbers every week to see if I'm still on track, if I'm lacking, or if there's something else I could be doing. Super important. And I honestly feel like this helped me go from crazy to knowledgeable with what I was doing. I mean, making calls, texting, DMing all day, all of that gets a little crazy. But when you take that second, you note it down, it kind of resets you for that next step and to go attack another lead, if that kind of makes sense. Perfect. If you can't measure it, you can't improve it. I mean, I should have looked at this before I just told you guys all that. It's 100% true. Sometimes we just go, and it's really hard to figure out what we're actually doing. We have a lot of steps. Our job has a lot of steps. Per client, per transaction. We just do a lot of different steps. So keeping track of it, keeping it down, you can learn off of it. It helps you with your numbers, and you can actually get a better idea of how much work and how much money you can make in that time needed. Ooh, my favorite. Conversation with your sphere. Practice the Ford method. Family, occupation, recreation, dreams. I just said to you guys in the beginning of this Zoom that I was in the middle of the desert this past week in Washington State, and I met 2 lenders and I met a New York City realtor. Switched numbers, hung out with them, all of that. Is the middle of the desert at a concert the best time to do that? Why not? We're all doing the thing that we love. We were all there for a band that we love, and I think we possibly could do great business together if it ever came up. So when I got home, I've already talked to all 3 of them, solidified our relationships, and sent them all my work stuff. So that right there is recreation. You diving into your sphere and all of this, I mean, there's no way if you do this continuously, you could possibly fail if you're being genuine with all these conversations. Does anyone have anything to add for this? All right.
I'm just gonna pop in really quick because I do have to go, but I wanted to say hi now that I am not just freshly woken up. I do have to leave for work, and it
Awesome.
sucks because I have so many questions and I've been listening, but I couldn't jump in because I was upstairs. I wish I could stay, but I'm gonna listen to this recording. Are you teaching another one of these sessions?
Uh, I'm not sure as of yet, but I'm sure I'll get a call. Yeah. I love doing
Okay.
it, so absolutely. But also if you want to reach out to me on your own, you can do that as well.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. And I just wanted to jump in and say thank you because I do have to get going. I drive to
Absolutely.
Newburyport for work, so it takes me about a half an hour and I've got to run. But thank you so much for today. I did get a bunch of information in this hour. And I'll see you if you're in another class. And Jeff, nice to see you again. I'll probably see you in the next class. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great weekend.
Thanks,
Bye.
Candace. Safe travels. All right. Boom. Database. Start with your sphere. Jeff, you've been talking a lot. I love this. What's something that you've learned through Bold and through Luana that you could possibly share with people in regards to your database?
I'd say it's like you're only as good as the information you feed it. Like, so the more in depth, like I kind of did it the wrong. I wish I would have talked to KT initially. Like I did an entire phone dump into my thing right away. So I had like 2,200 people in there. So, and like, I don't know if they're actually real people anymore. Half of them are restaurants that I used to work with. So it's like, I've been trying to go back through and filter out all the crap and really dial in the tags so I can do like a referral farm for California or referral farm for San Diego, like for South Carolina, or how did I meet people? Are they from New Hampshire? Are they from my hometown? Are they from college? Like, so to really get super granular with how I'm, developing the database. So if I have a very specific idea I want to do, like I know I have these 45 people that are already organized in that tag that I can just send a quick blurb out to, or you know, a bunch of bartenders that I know, I can filter a program for them for just bartenders because I know they're a different breed of people sometimes. So I think for me, it was just really be as absolute with how you define things in there.
Yeah, like something obviously talk to Luana. I'm not your team lead, but like something sparks out to me. Use your stuff, right? Family, occupation, recreation, dreams. Like I just thought of like a couple killer things you could totally do. You're in the restaurant business. First off, what's with the restaurant business? They get paid wonky. So a lot of them think that buying homes, stuff like that is not in their future because the way they get paid. Well, that's not true at all. With a little bit of guidance, a little bit of help, you can get them there. I've seen
Yeah.
people in restaurant industry buy homes all the time. So what I would do is call those people, have meetings, get their whole team there, have a little meeting with you, teach them a little something, and then go from there. You do a couple of those, guarantee
Yeah.
you're going to get a couple leads or people looking. Now you get to learn the finance aspect because you just spent a couple people to finance. Even if they're not there, now you just taught yourself that, you're ready for the next level.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm developing, it's funny you say that. I'm developing a handbook uh with one of our lender partners right now for that. Like so I can go present to restaurant groups that I know. I'm like, hey, can I sit down with your servers at your, when you do your weekly thing here? I want to present this to them. So
yeah, I when I was lending, that's what I did. I took businesses like that people don't think it's possible when it is possible. They just got to know how to work their money, right?
yep.
So 100% be that person to teach them. You get in there, you teach them something, they trust you, you're forever the restaurant guy. You found your thing, right? Um, and that's something I could never do. I did it a little bit in lending, but like as far as real estate, that's just not my thing. That would totally be your thing. Um, so yeah, I love that. That's awesome. Success system. We have a couple more of these. What is this? Daily, weekly? They're the same, right? We got two of them. So your day, I do a daily and weekly of these. That's kind of what I go over with my coach. So my daily is for me. Weekly, right before I meet her, I go through that whole week, and that's kind of like how we know the start of our relationship. Obviously, if my numbers are off, something was going on. Doesn't mean it was something personal. It was something could have just been off, right? Sometimes we get calls that aren't always happy with the transaction that's supposed to close today. I got the call on Wednesday. stuff like that. But you know what? If you stay focused, you still write on your numbers, you still stay focused. So obviously Wednesday my numbers were a little down, but being able to see that, I was in a lot better mood Thursday. I was able to make up for that, and that's where I got my second listing appointment for next week. So it's just a matter of staying on top of yourself, even if this is something you don't share, if you're working for yourself. And you got to use this for a little bit of accountability for yourself. 100% use it, or with your accountability partner that I hope you all get one very soon if you don't already have one. This is also something, if you guys wanted a platform to start with, definitely use this in the mornings when you guys talk for 2 minutes. Go over this, maybe hype each other up to go get your 10 conversations. If you're doing great, go get 5 more, right? We can never have too much. Does anyone have any questions on this? No, we are flying through this. All right. I'm gonna guess you've all heard this. Warning, do not call list and telephone Consumer Protection Act. We, as a company, we are too large. We do not have an account for everybody on this. At one point there was one, and there was too many problems with it as we had 700 agents at that time. So it is our responsibility to get set up on this. If you're on a team, they might have that, or other hand. You do not want to be calling random numbers. This fine, I think, is up to, it's either 43 or $45,000 towards, yeah, right here, 43,280 per call. 43,000 per call. I don't know any realtor that just has that sitting in the bank to throw away. So 100% take this seriously, look it up. There are programs out there if you use any other systems. I use a system that I can put all my numbers in. It will run them for me, as well as I can buy leads, and those are ran something like that. I'm sure Luana has something like that. If you guys are interested in anything like that, ask after. But this is definitely something we all should be taking care of. I would hate for anybody new to get hit with this and not be able to continue the career they dreamed of. I engage in I engage every conversation in the spirit of contribution. People are happy to be in a relationship with me. Live and breathe this. 100%. Always just try to be that person. I think I've said it 100 times. Be that source of information. You don't just want to be a realtor. You just don't want to be their agent. You want to be their source for information. That's in a relationship. When they trust you, they're going to ask you those questions, even if it might not have anything to do with your direct job. If we can help them with that, perfect. If it's something that we're not licensed in, perfect. We can help you find someone who's licensed in that. We always want to be that person to kind of care for them, walk them through their questions, and really anything. It goes far beyond real estate. We are in a lead-based business, and if you're not continuing these relationships, they will forget about us. Even if we got them a home, there's 7 other realtors on their Facebook every day doing videos that one day will surpass us if we close them on a home, if we're not staying in contact. I've had this happen, and I'm almost 3 years in. I've had this happen with me. It was my fault. I did not keep up with them, and I had to take that and just get better at it. It's one thing I think we'll always be trying to get better at as agents and humans. But just keep it full in mind, and use your system. I will say, I for a while I didn't. Smart plans, best things ever, even if it's just to remind you. Even if it's about a dog's birthday. I reached out to somebody the other day on a dog's birthday. She was floored, like absolutely floored. The woman called me, like we had a great conversation, and she's not ready, but you know what, she might be. Or now if she hears somebody in the next week or two, I'm pretty confident I'll be getting that call. It's just many stuff like that to keep the relationship and to stay honest. Okay, so Command Connect and AnswersKW.com. These are for all of us. We all have access to this. Also, in our brokerage, we have CLM Hub. I use that for absolutely everything. It's always on my computer. Even if I don't use it, it's always got a tab for itself open. Yeah. Now, before we prepare for the next class, did anybody have any questions, anything they wanted to go over? I'm going to pull you guys up again. You guys good? All right. No. All right. I can't see you guys, but that's okay. What do we have? I don't have an accountability partner within the brokerage, but I have a squad with a mastermind group of military veterans. Patrick, do we still have you? I can't see who's on here. Patrick, we are gonna what I'm gonna do is I'll give you a call. We'll try to help you get set up with someone. I think it would be great for you to have somebody in the brokerage that could possibly help you out and go from there. So I'll reach out to you and we'll have a conversation.
All right, Cornelius, we've met before.
Okay, now I see. I can't see the computer. Oh, yes, we have. Perfect. So, yeah, let's get on that, bud. I'll give you a call in a little bit.
All right.
Cool.
Sounds
And
good.
did you have any questions on this?
No, not really. One thing I would add when you're going over the Fords part, it's good just even outside real estate for people to do that because not too often do people reach out to even their close friends and stuff just to check in on them.
It 100% true. And it's so hard with how busy you get. So the more tasks that we do, the more I end up putting in my calendar, even if it is stuff, keeping up with friends, stuff like that. I hate to include that as work, but I mean, we're only human and we got to keep relationships. I do love these people. But putting it in my calendar just helps me keep up with everyone. Awesome. Cool. I'm gonna reach out to you, Patrick. I'm gonna put my number in here if any of you want it and have any questions. Reach out to me anytime. 842-0490. And yeah, I'd love to help you guys out and go from there. Looking forward to working with you all, and I hope you have a great day.
Thank you, Cornelius.
Thank you.